So a common question that we get on support is, when should I open my race registration for next year? So there are three options you can do to achieve this. The first option is simply to open the race whenever you are ready. This is our most recommended option because it has so many additional benefits that we'll talk about now. Within the RunSignup dashboard, we give you the ability to renew your race. So whenever you are ready, maybe it's a month later, 2 months later, you can come into your race dashboard and select the renew button. You'll then be able to set up all of your dates and information for the following year. And what's nice about this is once you renew, everything stays the same and stays within your single dashboard. So all of your previous year's reporting, all of your previous year financials, it all stays within this single dashboard. And you can simply change the year on each of your reports to view past data. And one of the reasons why we do highly recommend waiting until you are ready is it really allows you to put in place a plan for your email marketing, how you're going to schedule any of your automated emails. You can update any of your website's information if you have updated information, maybe a new location of the race, maybe a new map, whatever it may be. It gives you time to work on your website and come up with a marketing plan to push out for the following year. As you guys know, putting on a race is quite a lot of work. A lot of race directors and people that put on races are volunteers. So you're kind of always all in on the current year, and sometimes it's good to just take a 1 month break, decompress from the current year, take some mistakes that you may or may not have made, take some things that you could have improved, and come up with a plan to work out for the following year. From the RunSignup standpoint as well, if you have any fundraising associated with your race, what's nice about RunSignup is it allows you to keep your donation periods open well after your race has ended. So a lot of races maybe occurred on June 1st of this year. They'll keep their donations open maybe for another 6 months to encourage additional donations to come through. So by waiting a couple of months, you can continue to take on donations and continue to raise money for whatever cause that you are trying to fundraise for.
Now with this option, we do say to try to get your race open as soon as possible. And that kind of leads us into the second option, which is to open up the day after your event. Now this is good if your race is very organized and you're ready to do that right after the event closes. As Kevin was talking about, there's going to be that renew button on your page. That'll appear the day after your event. So you just go through that process and you get all the same advantages as renewing when you're ready. But again, this is really for if your race is very organized about this and you're ready to do that kind of marketing the day after your event. But if not, waiting till you're ready, that's still our number one option.
Now, our least recommended option is to open up registration for next year before your current event is over. So it's currently 2024. Let's just say we have a 2024 race. In this option, I'm going to open up my registrations for 2025 even before my 2024 race has occurred. Now, to do this, you will want to copy your current year's race in RunSignup. This will create a duplicate race for you. Once you've copied your race, what you'll do is update all of the information so that it's relevant for the 2025 date. Whether it's pricing, the date of the race, kind of anything that you need to update from 2024 to 2025.
Now with the other two options, when you're renewing, you stay at the same URL. The difference with doing what Kevin's talking about, creating a new copy of the race, that's going to put you at a whole new URL, which could kind of get confusing for people because they might go to the new URL and think, why can't I find my registration for this year? So yeah, you might end up with some questions on this.
And you might get people that are trying to register for 2024 registering for 2025. So it's just a lot of potential confusion there. So again, when you're updating all of your 2025 race information, you want to make it as clear as possible that participants that are registering for that particular race are going to be registering for next year's event. And so once you've set up a second race for the following year, those participants can register for that race. And then once your race has occurred, you'll renew your current race so that it's going to be a 2025 race. And then you'll bulk transfer all of those participants that registered for the copied race for 2025 and transfer them over to now your renewed race. The reason why you want to do this is, again, because everything will stay within one dashboard. All of your reporting will stay in one dashboard. You'll have all of your past participant data to be able to do all of your email marketing, and really kind of keeps everything under one roof. So we're going to take a look at a couple of races that have done one of these three options and kind of show you what occurred for these races when they either waited a little bit longer, or maybe they opened registrations before the race occurred. So in this particular race, in 2024, they had about a little over 12,000 participants. They opened registrations for 2025 a couple days early and had 260 people sign up for 2025 on race day and 30 people sign up the 2 days before. So a total of about 290 participants registered for 2025 before 2024 was officially over. So that generated about 2% of their totals for 2024. So those participants that registered before the race ended, what the race had done was they had sent all of their current participants an email blast letting them know where to sign up for 2025. And so from that email blast, about 2% of them did a call to action and registered for the next year. Now, something interesting about this race too is a week after their 2024 event, they sent another email marketing blast to their participants, letting them know to sign up for 2025. And that actually generated over 400 people signing up. So if we sort of look apples to apples and compare the two pre-event email marketing versus the post-email marketing that kind of went out, it's clear that participants waited until after the 2024 race to think about registering for the next year.
Yeah, so had they not done the email blast around here and just gone with this one, this probably would have been much higher just because everyone who registered here would also have been within this group.
Exactly.
Or at least a majority.
Yep. And so in this example here, this race had a little over 18,000 participants. They also opened early and they saw a little over 835 people sign up during the race weekend for the next year, which is about 4%. And this race was fairly well organized. They were very well staffed and they put a lot of effort into their pre-event emails in terms of encouraging participants to sign up for the next year. And they only had a couple of participants kind of confuse which race they were registering for. But again, something like this, even with a well-organized and well-staffed race, it can certainly happen when participants are trying to register last minute for 2024 and maybe they end up at the 2025 race page. And this last example here, this race had a little over 14,000 participants in 2024. The race was in mid-July, and they actually waited. So they renewed and got everything all set up, got all their email marketing all ready to go, and they waited about a month to open up for their 2025 registrations. And when they did open up in kind of mid-August, they had a little over 1,000 signups come through that day, which is about 7% of their race totals from 2024. So clearly you can see kind of the differences just kind of with some of these examples. Waiting a little bit, like a month or maybe 2 months, allows for not only your staff and yourself to come up with a good game plan for how you're going to send out all of your email marketing campaigns. It also gives participants some time to digest and decompress from your event. I know for me personally, I'm never really ready to sign up for the next year for an event until like a month after I've completed that particular event. So yeah, and this is kind of backed, and kind of these three examples is really backed by what we found in our race trends report. So in our race trends report, we see that about 8 to 9% of participants are signing up about 120 days before a race. So it's sort of a trade-off between putting in all that effort and adding potential confusion by opening up before the race ends and gaining maybe 2% or 4% of your signups, or waiting a couple of months, a month, 2 months, 3 months, to give yourself some time to come up with a good game plan and give your participants some time to decompress and get ready for the next year. And kind of seeing which option you would prefer to be doing. But kind of what we found is the option to wait produces the best amount of participant signups and kind of your best bang for buck in terms of how much effort you're going to be putting into it.
Yeah, with this final option here, there's just a lot of work that you put into it that is kind of repetitive because you have to set up one race, and then after your race is done, you have to go renew your current race and set it up to match that race and then move everybody over. And you're just not getting that much from it.
Exactly. Yep.
So open when ready. And if you can be ready right after race day, even better.